Hey everyone, Pharaoh Silver here, and I just figured out how to save hundreds of dollars a month on your mortgage. We're talking game changing, life altering savings on your monthly payment, and I think it'll be such a game changer that Bill Pulte will have to resign in shame as the director of the FHFA, and they'll have to make me the new director by default. But before I reveal my master plan, we need to understand how we got here, because the mortgage, as we know it today, is actually a pretty recent invention. Let's go back to the 1930s, the Great Depression. The banking system has collapsed, people are losing their homes left and right, and before this, mortgages were brutal. They were typically 5 to 7 years and interest only. And at the end of the 5 years, you owed a balloon payment for the entire principal. Now, most people couldn't pay this, so they just refinanced until the Depression hit and banks had stopped lending. So in 1934, FDR and the New Deal created the National Housing Act. This created the Federal Housing Administration, the FHA, which started insuring mortgages. And here's the innovation. They started offering 15-year mortgages that fully amortized, meaning your monthly payment covered both interest and principal. So you can slowly chip away at it, and in 15 years, you own the house. Now, I admit, I think mainstream people's love for FDR is a wee bit overrated, but this was a genuinely good and affordable way to bring about a path to home ownership for the average American at the time. But then the FHA was like, you know what? I think 15 years is still pretty tough. Let's make it 20 years, then 25, and finally, in 1948, Congress authorized the 30-year mortgage for new construction. By 1954, you could get 30 years on existing homes too. The 30-year mortgage has since become the standard. Lower monthly payments have meant more people could afford homes. After all, this is the American dream, right? And for decades, 30 years was as long as mortgages would get. But then Bill Pulte, director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, under President Donald Trump, holy crap, this is the first time I've invoked this name in this channel, I believe, flies down to Mar-a-Lago during the government shutdown and pitches Trump an idea: the 50-year mortgage. Lower monthly payments mean more people can afford homes, and that's what the 50-year mortgage is setting out to do. For example, with a $400,000 house, you pay $2,462 a month at 6.25% interest on a 30-year mortgage. Now, on a 50-year mortgage with a slightly higher interest rate of 6.5%, the payment would drop to $2,254 a month, saving you $208 that you can use to bet on the next shitcoin that will go to the moon but eventually becomes a dud. Now, here's the thing. If longer terms are better and more affordable, why stop there? I mean, Japan was doing 100-year mortgages in the 1980s, but no, this isn't good enough either. I need more affordability. I need all the affordability. The affordability must be maximum. So I present to you all my wonderful, groundbreaking, stupendous plan, the 50,000-year mortgage. Let's run the numbers on that same $400,000 house. 50,000 years, that's 600,000 monthly payments. We'll take the interest rate of 6.5% here, and your monthly payment becomes $2,166.67, now saving you an extra $300 a month from the annoying 30-year mortgage. Just imagine all the things you can do with that, or all the extra house you can afford with a 50,000-year mortgage. Never mind that all but a penny of that is going to the interest and will remain that way until your kids start paying it. But I mean, if a 100-year mortgage is good for Japan and they can pass that debt on to their kids, I'm sure your great.
One eternity later.
Great grandkids wouldn't mind paying down a debt for a house that will be almost 10 times as old by the time they pay it off as the pyramids are today. I originally had Stonehenge here, but with my name, I finally had the opportunity to make an ancient Egyptian reference, so woohoo! Now, obviously, I'm being ridiculous here, you guys, but this is the mindset that our government seems to want us to have when we see the idea of a 50-year mortgage. I would even say the 30-year mortgage was kind of pushing it, but at least you can expect to pay off your home by the time you're in your late middle ages, around your late 50s. Statistically, you will die before you pay off a 50-year mortgage, given the average age of a first-time homebuyer is 40 now. The mortgage would be paid off when you are 90, given minimum payments. Now, yes, you can pay bi-weekly to save several years. You can do other things that would make it easier for you to pay it off faster. And with such a long mortgage, it'll be a lot easier to exploit the mortgage that way. However, you're better off just finding a house that you can afford. The term is getting so long at this point, you're just replacing your apartment landlord with the landlord being your bank instead. So look, I know finding a house to live in is really, really tough right now. Starter homes are scarce, what's available is going faster than inflation, and people who could take advantage are sitting on mortgages with interest rates that people would do terrible, terrible things for. But the real wealth hack isn't finding the longest possible loan. It's paying off your debt as fast as possible so you actually own something. Because at the end of the day, when your monthly payment is just covering interest, you don't have a mortgage, you have a subscription to living in a house that you will never own. It's basically just renting another apartment, and on top of it, you are paying all the bills for maintenance. Now, that being said, there is one way, and only one way, I would take a 50-year mortgage. And I will talk about that in my next rant sometime in the next week or two. But as for this one, I hope you all enjoyed this one. This is kind of new, and I'm wondering and just testing the waters here if you like this style. If you do, I'll make more of this, all right? Like this video if you like it. Comment your thoughts on what you think that one exception to the 50-year mortgage rule is, and you will find out next week if you're right or not. Also, big thanks to my patrons, Disturbed Doge, the T99 Sogwolf, Kristen O'Neill, Ashley Stanfield, Josh42, and Board Game Sports Network. And with this, everyone, thank you very much. This is Pharaoh Silver signing out. I will see you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.